Hey y'all, welcome back. How y'all doing? All right, we're out here in these streets, living our best life, doing all the things. Okay, I know I was just budgeting last night, but I'm budgeting again because I had some money come in. So I wanted to chat with you guys about, I'm trying to follow myself, right? Hey y'all, hey everybody. So here's the thing. You got to get serious. I got to get serious. We got to get serious. Everybody has to get serious about budgeting. New pin chat. Okay, very good. I don't even know what that is. So okay. We've got to get serious about your finances. That is just the end all be all. A lot of people will say, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to, and we never get serious. Like when do we get to that point where enough is enough, right? That's the question. When is eating too much enough? When is going after somebody's husband that ain't yours enough? When is doing self-destructive behavior enough? When is it enough? It's the same with your money. I have to get to a point where this is the end of the road in this struggle situation. For me, I'll be very open and honest and transparent. I think Alana was, 8 or 9, somewhere in there. She might have been 7 or 8. I can't even remember now. She was a young girl. I just had Jackson. He wasn't very old. So she might have been 6 or 7. Good granny. She might have been 6 or 7. And I remember her birthday is January 29th. Her birthday came, and I did not even have a cake mix to make her a cake. There was no going to the store and buying a cake. There was none of that was happening. And I was like, you know what? Okay. So my church had set up a food pantry, and I didn't know then, but I learned later that the food pantry was actually set up for me and my children. So we didn't have to go somewhere else to ask for food if we needed it. We could go to our church family and we could get anything we needed. And y'all, I was a fully working adult. I was not destitute. I was not without a job, but I had so much stuff happening at one time that it was hard to make all the ends meet. I wasn't getting child support at that time. Nothing was going right. I was just fresh off a divorce. It was so bad. And I remember just being so desperate and not even wanting to go to the church and say, hey, I saw a cake mix in the pantry. Can I take that for my child? I asked, they let me take it. No problem. They didn't have a problem with me taking it. I was embarrassed. I didn't even have an egg to add to the cake. Y'all, that was I'm a very good cook. That was the saddest cake I think I've ever made in my whole entire life. And I said to God in that moment, I said, this will not be my testimony ever again. My children will not know this level of uncertainty in their life. It just will not be. It just cannot be. So I got to a point where I was done with the struggle. I was done. That doesn't mean I didn't struggle further, but I had made it up in my mind that I was done. The Bible tells us that to speak those things that be not as though they were. And I said, I'm not going to be broke all my life. I'm not going to be broke forever. I'm not going to be trying to figure out how I can get a cake mix to make my baby a birthday cake. She's going to have a birthday and a party, and she's going to have all the things, right? I didn't get there for a very long time, but I eventually got there. So for those of us who find it challenging to get our budgets together, when your situation makes it necessary for you to get your budgets in order, you will. See, where some people are right now, it's not necessary. They can, finagle the bills. They can shift stuff around. They might got an extra side job coming in or whatever the case may be. Or some people are just it'll get paid when it get paid. What's the worst they can do to me, right? That's what I hear quite a lot. What's the worst they can do to me? Do we even want to find out? Like, do we even want to find out? So we've got to get to that point where we're just done with, because when you're in debt, here's Shakima. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. When you're in debt, you don't even live at plumb line, right? You don't even live at plumb line. You live below the plumb line, because everything that gets you to equilibrium has to go to somebody else. And on top of that, you're paying them money just to borrow their money. Or you don't pay your utilities. It's getting ready to get cold. Now you and your children are sitting in the dark. Shakima, don't come down hard on us. I'm not coming down hard. I'm just telling you things I know from personal experience. While our utilities have never been cut off, we have experienced being late and getting past due notices. We don't get late and past due notices anymore. Why is that? Because every dollar has a name. Every dollar is allocated to go somewhere away from me. So last night, hey, y'all, I'm glad you're here. I get very in my heart. Let me explain my heart. In my mind, I see an army of women, not anti-men and I am woman, hear me roar, none of that stuff. But if we can get a firm grasp on the fact that if we could get our spending under control, it's going to release so much pressure from our households. It's going to release so much pressure from our husbands, spouses, partners, whatever you got over there. It's going to release so much stress and pressure from our family, our children. And then what it's going to do is it's going to free us up. And whenever we become free, we're no longer bound, right? And so we're not worried about who's trying to call my phone. I don't even answer my phone because it's a bill collect. I answer my phone. I don't care who it is. Hello. Or as my children would say, hello. I answer my phone because I'm not bound to the system. I'm not bound to the people. I'm not beholden to whoever your utility company is or water company or whatever the case may be. Enough got to be enough to the point where I needed out of that so that my children could live in the overflow, if that makes any sense, because I need my kids to experience something totally different than what I have ever experienced in my life. And I know what it's like not having enough. That's all I'm saying. And I don't want to see that for any of us. So what I feel is I want to see all of us women, because you're my group. What is it, babe? I can't see. Yes. Okay. Here, do it on this this one right here. Yeah. I can't translate. No, do it. It's fine. Just do it now. Sorry, y'all. My son is helping me do some stuff. So what I want to see us just be so free that our households run right? Our marriages have a chance, because money is one of the biggest issues that lead to separation, divorce, and all kind of manner of foolishness. And I want us to be just well in our finances. 3 John 2, I would, beloved, that you would be in health and prosper, even as your soul prosper. Soul prosperity, when you get that soul prosperity, your money changes. When you get soul prosperity, your money changes. It has to. It cannot remain the same. Again, my friend, I told you, she messaged me. She said it was because of you that I started tithing my full gross income. And I'm telling you, I don't believe that lady has looked back different. I don't believe that her family is worse for the wear. I think they're a little bit better off than before. That's my opinion. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm off my soapbox. Probably going to stay on that box a long time just because I know what it's like. I do. But anyway, so after I got done budgeting with you guys last night, I went and checked my bank. I don't know why I didn't check it before, but we had money come in. So one of the key strategies for me on not overspending, not overswiping, not doing any of those types of things is whenever money comes into my hands, I immediately funnel it out to where it's supposed to go. Every single dollar that I have has a job. I assign it a job, and it is going to go out and do what I want it to do for me, because I am the manager and the CEO oven's ready. I'm the manager and CEO of my budget. I'm the manager and CEO of my household financials. If all you have, some women would say to me back in the beginning, all I have is my grocery money. If that's all you have, be a good steward over that grocery money and watch the Lord multiply it for you. I've seen him do that numerous amounts of time. So you can do this. So I had some money come in. Now, it came in kind of funky. I really don't like it when it does this because, again, it has me managing large portions, and I would prefer to take mine in small chunks, but I'll do it whichever way I need to do it. Jackson, will you come, please? Everybody, small bag. Will you give me that little notepad for me? I immediately sat down. I did not go to my computer at that time because I just didn't have time at that point. It was time to go to bed. I was tired. I had just gotten off the road from being gone for a 6-hour road trip. And I had been up since about 3:30 yesterday morning. So I said, you know what? Let me sit down and let me write down all of the things. No, it's a notepad, baby. That's not a notepad. That's a wallet. Okay. Got to explain things to people. So I said, let me sit down and manage these finances, because again, when you leave it to chance, when you leave it till tomorrow, when you say you're going to get to it, it slips your mind. You forget. You go to the grocery store. You run through the drive-through. You do all types of things. Thank you so much. And so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and manage this money because I need to manage it. Y'all, I'm managing on a small little notepad situation. Wrote it all out. Wrote all my things out. Because I put the date on it so that I would not forget what it was supposed to be. So I'll share with you guys my budget sheet because, again, I am using my budget sheet. If you're not using the budget sheet, I encourage you to use something. I can't tell you exactly what would work best for you, but I can tell you that this budget sheet works well for me. So I had a kid's deposit come in, and that deposit was $440.68. Now, that is almost 2 payments, because normally the payment is $216.46 a week or something of that nature. For me, it came in a double clump. That's okay. In the state of North Carolina where I live, they do not tell me each week what I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm getting it this week. I don't know if I'm getting it all in at the end of the month. As long as it comes in, your full amount comes in before the end of the month, you are straight, right? So that's another reason why I do not budget in child support. If I had to wait for the child support to come in for me to pay a bill and it didn't come in till the end of the month, I would be behind on the bill. So I don't do that. I don't wait for it to come in. I budget off of what I bring in, and anything addition to that comes back to help the family, whatever Jackson might need or whatever the case may be. Do remember that in our state, and I think other states may be the same, but do your research. We can use child support to pay the bills if we need to, because that falls under standard care for your children. However, I pay all of my bills out of my paycheck. I do not wait for any additional sources. I don't wait for YouTube. I don't wait for Facebook. I don't wait for affiliate links. I don't wait for any of that stuff to come in. I just pay it out of my monthly paycheck. And I only get paid once a month. So I have to budget in. For those of you who might have asked why I take cash out, because I only get paid once a month. I'm a once a month paid employee. I get paid the last working day of the month. And then what I do is I pull out enough grocery money and gas money so that I have the satisfaction of being able to go to the store and spend something every week. I need that. I need to spend. I don't buy groceries on cart, Instacart, and all this other stuff. I like to go to the store. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. A lot of women will put their husbands on an allowance and won't even give him hardly any money. And I say to women, because women are my thing, I say you have to allow that man to feel like he's a man. If he ain't got but $5 or $10 in his wallet, he needs that. So you give him that and let him live his best life. If you didn't spend your budget this week, perhaps give it to him so that he feel, yes, every dime he has, he's bringing it into the household. He's putting it to the bills, but you got to give him something that makes him feel like I at least got a few coins to rub together in my wallet. It's hard out here in these streets sometimes. And so we don't want to emasculate our men by not giving them or allowing them to have something. If you have control over the finances, that's perfectly fine. Whoever's the best manager should manage the money. But you want to say to him, hey, babe, here's your you're allowed. We're a little light this week. So we're just going to do what we're doing right here. Hey, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have any plans. I don't have any coffee dates or nothing. I can just drink regular coffee in the house. Here's my $20, $40. You can have that. And he'll say, no, babe, I'm good. I don't need that. You keep it. You're going to know I'm good. The kids and I, we in this week. Somebody came down with a cold. We ain't going nowhere. We don't want to spread no germs. We don't want to do any of that. And so then what happens is he's feeling a little bit, he's got a little pep in his step, and he goes out and he works all the harder. And that could be vice versa if the male is at home and the woman does the breadwinning, however it works for you. But don't emasculate your men by having such a strong control on those finances that they can never have anything. Okay, I've chatted a lot. Okay. The child support came in $440. Now, because I only have one cell for this number, I put a note in here, and I just go to right click. I'll insert a note right here. It says delete a note because I've already put one in, but I insert a note, and then I denote what my deposit was, what day it came. And then I could also further denote where I spent it if I needed to, but I keep a written copy of it here, so I don't need to do that particular portion. So I am going to take you over to the weeklies, which I have already gone down earlier, and I have put in my dates for this particular month. October 1st started on a Sunday, and it will end on a Wednesday. And so I'm just going to decrease this so y'all can see it a little bit better. It doesn't be all bold in your face. But here is from this past week, right? So we're still in this October 1st. What today is the 4th. Here are the bills and things that I've paid thus far. I had my mortgage to pay. That was $1,000. Remember, my mortgage is $892, but I pay $107.30 additional principal. And in my dashboard on my bank, I'm able to do that. $45. We're on a family share plan for the cell phone with Shamika. She has the account in her name, and every one of us, all my children, have phones on her account. So what we do is I just pay her a Venmo. She takes care of the main bill, no problem. I do need to pay Jackson's phone bill, but I'll pay it next week because I can pay it next week, no problem. Moving down, I did do Mr. Jerome. That was cash. I talked to you guys already about that. I did do cash for Mr. Jerome, 6 $20 bills. He gets 3 20s every time he comes to cut my grass, and he only cuts the grass twice a month. I do have some projects coming up for Mr. Jerome that I would like for him to do. But again, I have to pre-plan those out. I don't just say, hey, Mr. Jerome, come over, because Mr. Jerome believes in doing a thorough job, and he will definitely charge me for the thorough job. So what I do is I will wait until I know I have the money coming in. And then I will say to him, hey, Mr. Jerome, I need this, this, and this. Give me a price. And then we will negotiate what I want done now versus what I want done later. So again, when you don't have money, woes, struggles, right? I'm able to hire somebody to do some of the yard work that I am unable to do. I probably could do it, but my time doesn't allow for it. And he needs, I always think of people who come to, who I employ. People who I employ, that's a whole nother level of where did that even come from? Because that wasn't a thing, right? People were employing me. I've cleaned toilets before. But when I think of people that I employ, here's how I think of it, so it doesn't make me feel bad. Those individuals do an honest job for an honest wage. I need a job done, and I'm willing to pay their rate. So that's how it works. It is just an exchange. When I go to the grocery store, I buy my groceries, I give them cash or whatever the case is. They give me my change, I go home. So it's the same, right? Somebody would say, oh, well, Shakima, you shouldn't be paying for this, this, and this. You can't control what I'm paying for. I'm paying for convenience. I'm paying for somebody who can work within my schedule. I'm paying for all of those types of things. So what I need you to do is not even worry about us. We straight. Okay. So I did Jackson's high school fund, his high school fund, where I put money in case he needs tennis shoes, underoos, T-shirts. This is all just for clothing or anything he needs at school, field trips, blah, 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 any of those types of things. So I put $50 from the $440.68 that came in. I put $50 in that. I always take the first support, and I put $50 in. Now, because this was like a double payment, I doubled every other thing that I took out except the homeschool, the high school, because I only take out $50. I don't do 100. It's fine. Each month I put 50 in. And so by the end of the year, he should have $700 in that account, which is enough to get all new school clothes, all new shoes, anything he needs as far as book bags. Of course, his dad took care of the book bags and he actually got him a pair of shoes. So I didn't even have to ask him for any of that. I don't have to ask him anymore about anything for the children. He just does his due diligence and he sends his child support. I'm going to have another conversation about that later. Okay, moving on. Groceries, I did that, $200. My summer groceries was $100. The monthly preps and the entertainment ended up being just the same. So I'm probably going to change that. Let me just change that and make that $100, because that's really what I did. We didn't do preps. I used that money to take Jackson out. Moving down for personal care. All right, Jackson has to get a haircut, or he actually has to get 2 haircuts this week. So I went to the bank because they used to let us do a Cash App. They won't do Cash App anymore. So now I get the cash out. Now his haircuts are $25. So 2 cuts is $50. We usually leave a tip. And so I give $30 every time. Works out. No problem. All right, moving down for entertainment and travel. This is actually for my pastor's retreat that's coming up. I put $100, $110 into that account. So I have quite a bit. I'll tell you guys how much I've saved thus far. My plane ticket, which was $521, is already paid in full. I paid that in cash. And so that no longer needs to be paid on that. That's paid. But I put money in. I still have to pay for my room and my rental car and meals. So room, rental car, and meals is probably about another $1,000. And I'll tell you what's my total update on that thus far. I still have a few more weeks to save because it's not quite yet. It's before the end of the year, but it's not quite yet. Jackson savings, he gets $25 every deposit. So yesterday was like a double deposit. So I put $50 in his. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that that money is out of my account. When I go in there and I'm trying to buy something, or I had to buy some batteries for school today, and it cost me $20, $19 and some change for batteries, but I needed them for some projects I had the kids working on at school. But I want to make sure that I'm not taking money that's allocated for something else. So I could leave the money in there for 2 weeks and then transfer 25 every time, but it's already in here. Let me transfer it. Then whatever's left in that account is in a sense what is mine and what I need to get out, or what I need to manage further. Gracie, nope, none of that. Jackson's gym comes out. He probably was going to come out tomorrow because tomorrow's the 5th. So his gym membership is probably going to come out tomorrow. So that's perfectly fine. Moving down, I didn't do anything else. Okay. Car match money. So for sister, I took out 25, each week is $20. So I took out $40 for 2 weeks. I put that into her car fund, and then she gave me $40 for gas, and I put that into her car fund. So for her car fund, she got $80, but only 40 of that was from my particular personal monies. The other money I don't even count. I just put in her envelope. To date, from the $1,200 that I'm saving for her car, I've saved $920. So I'm about $280 short of the $1,200 I was going to save for her. And I just started saving that this year. Okay, moving down. Okay. So tithe, we did $45 to my particular church, and then $22 to the other ministry. And then savings for baby step number 3, I went ahead and put $100 in savings. Now, Shakima, again, how do you do that? Because there are a lot of upfront things that I pay for my children. The mortgage is paid, the lights, the water, all that stuff. So if I need to recoup money on the back end, I'll recoup it on the back end. Alana's got money for her car. Jackson has money in his account. And so we have all of those things. So with all of that, back to my at a glance sheet. So far, I've had $3,523.86 coming. I have paid out all the bills that should have gone out to date. And that leaves me with total expenses of $3,032, leaving in the account $491.86. Now, after everything clears, if there's money in there left, I will then move money into the savings account so that we still are working on that savings. God spoke to me very clearly. He said, Shakima, you've got to get that savings. That 3 to 6 months has got to be done. So I am in a mad dash to get it done because I've heard the voice of the Lord. Now, you're looking at that $491 saying, okay, well, you still have other bills. I do, but I take my sinking funds come out of my Facebook, and then the other other bills, I use that I pay out of the business, right? So I still have money to the good, but I have to make sure that I'm managed. The zero-based budget says don't leave any of that money in there, but I need to make sure that everything clears out. I still have my gym membership comes out. Jackson's gym membership comes out. So I need to make sure that every bill clears before I clear out that large lump sum of money. And so what I will probably do is put money into my trip first because that's coming up. And once this trip is over, this should be my last trip of the year, not next year. I'm planning to travel next year. And then I will put anything else into the savings. So we are far beyond all the things as far as, why do I have so much money sitting there? And the reason is I want to make sure that everything that needs to clears. Stuff I forgot about, stuff that might be automatic drafts or whatever the case may be. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to see all of y'all. Very good to see everybody. Okay. Let me make sure. Oh, very good. That was Miss Sue. She says, thanks to God's direction and blessings, I have been able to make a huge dent in my debt. It's thing by thing, is bill by bill. It's one thing at a time because you can do it, right? So you have to make sure that you got to pump your own self up because not everybody's going to celebrate you. Some people are very happy seeing you in a place of debt, in a place of struggle, in a place of always asking somebody else for a hand up. And that's not necessarily God's plan for you. Here's what I preached on Sunday. Broke is not your testimony. It's just not. It's not a part of, it's not your portion. Broke is not your portion. Begging, not your portion. Not having, not your portion. King's kids have it, but King's kids also know how to maintain and manage, right? We're going to maintain and manage. So for my trip, let me share with you guys. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Let me share with you for the trip what I've saved so far. So in one account, in my vacation account, because I have several different banks, several different accounts. People always say, you're not letting your money draw interest. Trust me, I have accounts separate from this. So in my vacation account, in one bank, I have $112. Who's calculating? I'll calculate it. I'm going to write it down. Got to write it all down, Shakima. Right? Yes, we do. So for vacation, I have 112 that I can pull out of this account. Now, remember, I do use this account also to take my children on. I will be back very soon. Very, very soon, ma'am. Yes, I will. So we chat about that. Message me and we'll chat about it. So 112 I can take out of this specific account. So I do take my kids on Christmas holiday, but I get a supplement in October's paycheck, which is my November budget, and I pull all of that money out then. I don't save up for the vacation for my children. I save up for vacations for me or trips I need to take. But for the holiday, I take that money out in October. And here's the thing. When I started back work in August, I'm so very glad to hear that, ma'am. I hope so. Sometimes I feel like I'm too strong, but I know I know the stress and pressure and strain of owing people money. I know what that's like. And it pushes you down and it pushes you down. And especially men, for a lot of men, they're like a pressure cooker. They're like an Instant Pot. And they just suppress it. They suppress it. And if you don't release that valve some type of way, they blow up. And a lot of men, they're blowing up is extramarital situations. It can become a physical situation. It can become walking out. It can be all those things. And we think that, what did I do wrong? Well, really, nobody really did anything wrong. We just didn't manage well, or we didn't manage beforehand. So I tell a lot of people now, I needed to get out of debt so that my husband that I'm praying for he don't have to dig me out. I'm on level ground, sir. You don't have to dig Shakima out. I'm good. Whatever we got together is going to be over and above. Now, when I went back to work in August, North Carolina had not passed their budget. So they have now passed the budget as of September 22nd, I think. And so for those of us who were we just got our regular pay from last year. We didn't get any raises, no increases, no anything. And I had been in a freeze. You're in a freeze for about 5 years. And then when you get to that next step, you get a bump, right? So I am 25 years of experience because I'm in my 26th year of teaching. So I should get a fairly significant bump this paycheck. But they're going to bump us or retro pay from August and September. So I'll get my new regular pay in October. They're going to back pay me September and they're going to back pay me August. So I'm planning to use all of that money again for travel or to put in the vacation fund because I don't necessarily need it for anything because all the bills are paid, right? I do need to get some floors in here done. So that could be an option. So whatever that increase is and that back pay, even though they're going to tax it, even though that's in there, I'm still going to have more than I started with in this next paycheck. Okay. So that was 112. That's in one account. If I go to another bank, and this is not toot Shakima own horn situation. This is just saying you can do this slow by slow. In another account, I have 465. So that gives me 577. And I said it's about 1,000, right? 577 subtract 1,000. So that's 99922. 422 is what I need left to cover the 1,000. So I have in my envelopes, these are my regular envelopes, but in my Black Queen, because y'all know the queens is doing what they do. The queens are queening out here, okay? In my $5 challenge envelope, which is where I put also for vacations as well, I have $85 in here. So I have $85. That's in addition. So the 422 subtract 85. You doing it for me, sister? Can you subtract for mom? 422 subtract 85. And then I have, I think this is 97. So subtract 97. And then I have, because those were all, thank you, ma'am. Those were all of my envelopes. Remember, I'm still doing my 52-week challenge, but I was doing this to pay for California, and I've already paid for California. So the last few envelopes are now going towards this next trip. So that was for another 97. And then I had some leftover cash in my wallet that I had been saving from some other things. So I have 50, 70, 90, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 107. So that's another 107 that I have. So 422 subtract 85, 97, and 107. And that'll tell me how much left I have to save for my next, for this, to pay off all those trips for that one trip. And the reason it's so expensive is because I'm going far and I'm staying for several days, right? So I'm going very far. Did you get it for me, sister? 133. Praise God. So I only have $133 left to save. Thank you, Rachel. And I pulled my new envelopes for this month. And I think I pulled, what I pulled, sister? 28, 41, 40. And there was another one, $8. I think it was 8. So I've pulled another 80, 100. I've almost pulled all I need to cover this trip. Now, y'all know how I feel about credit cards, right? I've not had a credit card in years, simply because I believe I got my debit card. You know, I could, there's money on here. Just do the things and leave me alone, right? The way that the world is working now, in order for me to book, thank you, ma'am, in order for me to book hotel, flight, rental car, if I pay with my debit card, they charge you all these charges. If you pay with a credit card, they don't charge you the charges, and you can earn points. So this past month, I actually applied for a credit card, as I was supposed to be going out to California because my daughter had to pay for it. She put on her credit card and I gave her the cash so that she could get the points. But if I'm going to be paying and traveling, then I need to be getting my own points. My sister gets points. She travels and then she gets enough points where she can get free night stays or free rental cars or whatever the case. She travels quite a lot. So I'm like, okay, Shakima, you can get the credit card, but you have to pay the fee, pay up front. So here's what I did. When I booked the room and I booked the car, it's just hold. It's on a hold. They will not charge the card until I actually do the transaction. I go to the place, I stay there, and I check out. Then they will charge the card. But because I've already saved up all the money, right? I've already saved it up in my different banking accounts. All I had to do is slide it over into my main checking and go right to the credit card and hit pay. That's the only way I would allow myself to get a credit card, because I don't want to have to keep asking my sister, can you book this for me? Or ask my daughter, can you book this for me? Then they get the emails. I don't get the emails, and I'm trying to figure out why stuff is different. So if I do it, because I am now there's no just random swiping. And don't think the devil don't play with your mind. He's like, well, girl, you can put that on credit. No, not that. Not unless I have the cash in hand. When I booked my flight, $521 was the amount. It took, I think, 2 days to show up. And immediately when it showed up on my credit card, I went right to my pay and then paid it right off. I didn't wait till the due date because there's no early payoff fee. I didn't wait to no due date. I went right there, charged it to my bank, and that money came straight off because I had already saved that money up. What we do is use the credit card to hold the room or the car. When we check out, we ask them if we can just pay in cash. If they will let you do that, that's absolutely perfect. But, you know, it works the same. I would prefer that. But because I'm traveling such a long distance, I don't want to carry a ton of cash with me anywhere, because you never know. Even though, you know, places are supposed to be safe, I just would prefer to keep it like, so the money I have in here, I'm going to put that in my bank before I leave. I will have enough money for eating and that kind of thing as I'm traveling there, but I'll just, you know, pay for food or whatever using my card again so I can get the points. And then I will just pay, because I will give myself a food budget. I'm going to be away for 4 days. I'm going to give myself a food budget, and then everything should be paid for. Again, whatever I get that's extra for this repayment from the last couple months from this new budget, I'm going to put that in this pot as well, because that's just going to make me feel better to know I have more than what I need, and then I will be able to pay it off. Those of you who have ordered the Black Queen envelopes or any envelopes from Conversation and you've used my code, I get paid. I get a payout from her every other month. And so I got a payout in September. and I will get another payout in November. It's usually the first of the month, which will help me. So I don't need to, that money does not go to any other thing. I don't have any other thing over my head. So I'll pull some of that money there and actually make sure I just make sure I'm covering all the things. It is, here's a question, is if your debit is, if it's like a Visa, not use like a credit card, or is it different? For some reason, it always, even if you try to say credit with the debit card, because I do have a Visa debit card, they always charge you debit. They never let you do it like a credit. It's when you're doing stuff like renting the car or when you're renting the room. From my experience, they always charge it as a debit, and then they always add on all those fees. It's going to be a $75 fee to hold a room per day, and you're going to have to keep it up there for 7 to 12 business days. I mean, it'd be a lot. And I'm like, but I know the money is in here. This should be the better choice, but people don't want to do it that way. I've not been able to get it happen a different way. Do you recommend any card that help build your credit? I do not recommend credit cards at all. And I fought against getting this one. But when we took that last trip, my sister and I, she had to book everything on her credit card. And I feel bad because I asked the Lord to put me in where I'm able to travel. And so if I want to be able to travel, then I should be able to manage my spending. And the only way I'm going to be able to manage my spending is to manage my spending. Hey, ma'am, how are you? So I don't recommend. I'm absolutely sure that that's what they want it for. But when I was trying to rent a car before I got my new car, when my other car was acting crazy, and I took my debit card in because I had money in my account, they still treated it like a debit card and charged me. I think I was renting a car for 4 days and it was over $1,000 because they would, by the time they added on all these fees, it was crazy. I was like, are you really kidding me right now? But so I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. So every time since then, my sister has done it for me or my daughter has done it for me. And they've been gracious and I have appreciated it. But I'm a big girl now and I know my goals. And I know that I can save the money. So I can book it and hold it. But when I go to pay, it was over $1,000. It was a lot of money. It was because they just added in fee. And then with the credit card, renting the car gives me car insurance for that trip. So you know how you go and they say, well, do you want the daily insurance? I'm good. I have my own insurance. I have my own car insurance that I will use, but also the credit card that I have, it will provide insurance as well. Bye, ma'am. Thank you for stopping in. So I'm just, and then we looked at all of that before I actually got this card. My sister sat down with me. We talked about it. She knows my anxiety about having credit because that's what got me in that chokehold before. I'm never going to be in anybody's chokehold again. Not as long as the Lord give me a right mind about my finances. So what I do is I make sure that I am pre-prepping my money. I am making sure that I don't care if it's $10. If that's how much I have extra, it's going into a fund for something. And then when it's time for me to do whatever it is I need to do, even if I have to use my credit card to hold it and pay, I go right to my bank whenever that shows up. Sometimes it just shows up pending. When it shows that it has actually managed to get to the account, I go right in and I make that payment, and then my level of, it goes down. Phew, I'm done. I got it done. So that's how I do it. Again, Jackson's 14. It's been 13 years since I've had a credit card. I just don't do it. I'm not buying Christmas on credit. I'm not buying birthday presents on credit. It's only for traveling at this point of my life because I've prayed and asked God to open up travel for me. And so he was very gracious to do that. And I did not count another account. I have a ministry account that has money in that as well. And I didn't count any of that in this money right here. Those were just accounts that I set aside for mom travel, right? Sister does her own things. I did pay for her trip to California, but this is the last big thing I'm paying for the kids. Everything else is on them. So I will have to pay for no, we're staying with Shamika, so we don't have to pay for the B&B, but I will rent a car when we go out to California so she don't have to travel us around while she's, her wedding and all that. She may need errands run or whatever. My sister will be there as well. So we can probably rent a car with her, and my other sister's going. I think we're going to go in half and half on a car. So I think that's going to all work out fine. But again, do what works best for you. But my recommendation is as soon as money comes in, you start allocating and you start pushing it out. My bill not due till 3 more weeks from now. Don't matter. Pay the bill. Just pay it and get it. Well, they can get my money early. Get it out of your hands. That way, it is where it needs to be before something comes up. And the next thing you know, you're in a situation. Now, again, those of you who have followed me for years, you've seen the progressiveness of how we've done this over the years. And so for me, I would hope that we're an example of what life can be like when you get your financials in order. So that's what I wanted to share. Couple of things. We are doing the giveaway on Friday. Don't forget that. Facebook folks, you got to go to my YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to YouTube. And then we're going to, there was a video I did, I think last week. It said it's the giveaway video. Make sure that you comment under there, subscribe, enter me. I will check all the subscribers because it lets me see who has and who hasn't. We're doing that Friday. We're also starting our God is a Matchmaker series on Friday. That's going to be via Google Meet. I think there's about 10 ladies that are going to be joining me for that. 3 of them are current ladies that I have now in my Titus 2 group, but everybody else is ladies that I think we've met through Facebook. So those ladies will be joining me. It is still not late. If you want to join that, please send me an email, firstloveministries@wilson@gmail.com. We would love to have you, host you. If you're struggling with your financials, leave me some comments down below. I'll do my best to help you. I did send out the budget sheet to a couple people who asked me. Make sure that you inbox me your Gmail account. It works best with Gmail. It does not like to play nice with any other .com or at whatever.com. Gmail is the fave because it's a Google sheet, and so it talks very nicely with Gmail. Other than that, that's it. We don't have any big purchases planned. We're not taking any big trips. I do have a trip coming up very soon, but that's just like a day trip for something that's coming up, and I do have to travel just a little ways, so that's not even far. Gas is all I'm really worried about there, and I have gas money. If you just send me an email, because I won't remember it from here, I'll be like, Lord Jesus, I just remembered a lady asked me about the book study, and I just sent out her thing tonight because it was on my mind not to forget, and I forgot. Right? Okay. All right, y'all. It is 8 o'clock. I got to go get dinner done. Got to finish up the grocery haul because that's coming out tomorrow. A couple more videos we got coming out. But again, I won't be doing those everyday videos. I just can't do them. I can do them live, but I can't do them every day. I do got to get some studying in for Friday night. So I don't know if I'll be back on here tomorrow. Jackson's got a ball game, so we probably won't be doing much on here tomorrow. But anywho, you can do this. You can get your financials in order. I promise you that you can. If I can do it, you can do it. If you'll send me just put all of that into my inbox, because I'm not going to remember that. And I'm not going to come back here to see it. It won't even cross my mind. Just take that whole thing, dump it in the inbox, and I'll find it. I promise I'll find it in there. I really will. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you use any of our affiliate links, I did get, what did I get? I think I got $9 from my Amazon store last month. Thank you so much. If you purchase anything out of our Amazon store or from a link I put up, I don't even know how the Amazon store works, y'all. I'm doing my best over here. I'm going to have to get somebody to help me with this Amazon store. I probably could make some more money if I figured it out, but I ain't figured it out yet. Okay. Love all y'all. Do very good things for people. Be the best that you can. Remember that you represent the Lord. You represent your family. You represent everything that is good in this world. You do. And we should be doing good things. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Make good